Hey guys, what's up, what's up? It's Tiff here with another Monday video, and today we are playing with clay. What the heck? Yeah, we are. So, if you happen to catch the episode that I recently did for my new What's Up Wednesday episode, I talked about me becoming a little bit of a plant addict. Well, with that, let me just tell y'all something. Those little cute cash pots or what do you call it, little decorative pots that your nursery pot sits inside, baby, them things is expensive, y'all. And y'all know Tiff all about that thrift flip or that DIY or that upcycle, recycle. You know how I do what I do. So I said, sister girl, Tiff can make one of these things. Now, mind you, I have a lot of plants, so I'm probably going to be making a lot of these. But this was my experiment tour, and I said, hey, Tiff, let's take it to the tube, girl, because somebody else might need a little help, and let's learn together. So that's what I'm doing. So as you see, that black package was, or is, paper clay. And, y'all, it is it is not easy to work with, okay? So, I had, for Michelle, her daughter uses clay a lot, and she's quite masterful in her clay work. We are trying to encourage her to put that out into the world because she is so good. But anyway, she had recommended a different product, and it's actually a brand name. I think it's DAS. Is the product name for the air dry clay. So this is air dry clay, meaning that you do not have to have a kiln, you do not have to have anything like that. You just have to have some air, and we all got it, to dry this stuff. Now, what I will say about this paper clay is it gave me a run for my money, y'all. You see me beating this thing. I'm using that Aleene's tacky glue because if you've watched my videos, I hate that darn bottle, and Josh actually put it into an easy, just like a little small jar for me, so I have a little bit still left in there, and y'all know I ain't throwing that stuff away until it's all gone. So I used it as like a rolling, what do you call that thing? A rolling pin. That's what it's called, right? And so it cracked, and it was not the most user-friendly. Now, I will say that this has been in my drawer for probably a year or so. But, I mean, it was sealed. There was nothing wrong with it. So, I think that that's just how this clay is. So, the other thing, faux pas, snafu, whatever you would like to call it, that I ran into here. As you see, I'm using a food plastic container. This was like, I don't even know the name brand of it, but it's like the little gelato or ice cream. Anyway, so I had that, and I thought, this is a perfect size for a pot, so I'm going to use it. Well, you see what had happened is I don't use plastic wrap in my house. It's been years and years since I've had any cling wrap. I have tried to go to products that are a little more sustainable and more recyclable. That's neither here nor there. What I'm telling you, the point of that story is that if I had cling wrap, which I guess I'm going to have to go buy now because this plastic container, the paper clay as it dried, I was hoping that it would actually release from said device and mold. However, y'all, it ain't gonna do it. It is just not gonna do it. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So what I did is what my mama taught me to do, which where there's a will, there's a way. You can figure out a way to make it work. So that's what I do, is I just figure out ways to make it work. So you can see I'm spraying water, just getting this stuff to move as well as I possibly can. Making sure that if there is any like thin spots that I'm going in and I'm securing that the best way possible. Now I really enjoyed making this pot. It was fun. I got to explore and try different things. It has been quite a while since I have played with paper clay. My mom used to do ceramics and porcelain dolls and all the things, and so I have had some enjoyable moments in clay. I used to actually, before I was a mixed media art journaler, I actually did ceramic beads and pendants for jewelry. And so I have worked with clay before, but this clay was not easy. I'm going to say that like 100 times. But if you have it, use what you have. You can make it work. However, if you are going to purchase this with one of those holiday gift cards maybe you got, I am going to go try the other, and I will probably post either here in the community tab, or I will post on Instagram and let y'all know if it's any better than what this was, because it was a pain in the tuchus. So, I'm just smoothing with my fingers, okay? And what I will say now is, because I thought this was going to release from this package, this plastic container, I did not go all the way to the top. Okay, and so we're going to talk about some opportunities where there's a will, there's a way that I had to figure out toward the end, because it does have to sit. So I let it sit overnight in hopes that this paper clay would be dry enough that it would just somehow release off of this plastic. I don't know. Hindsight's 20/20. I should have known better, but you know what? That's part of life, right? We live and we learn. And if you know me at all, I'm all about trying something and then perfecting the way it works best for me. So I like to try things. I like to just, when something's like getting me in my muse, like I can't stop thinking about trying this, I just have to do it. It's just, that's why I have, you'll see in a little bit, I'm going to show y'all some macrame cord, because I got into this macrame spell, which I actually really enjoy making all those little knots. Now, I do have a clay tool. I think this is a clay tool. It kind of looks like, y'all, one of those things that you use at the dental place. Like, it's a little bitty. It's a little more flat, though, than one of those scraper things. But anything would work, is my point to this story. If you got a toothpick, sugar pie, get that toothpick and make you some lines if you like how this works. But I did want to create texture, because y'all know it's been established I am a texture whore. I just love me a good texture. So, with that being said, I wanted it not to just like a blob of clay. I wanted it to look like some texture was going on up in here. So I'm just going, as you see, back and forth like really quick, but being mindful that I do not go all the way to the plastic, because I didn't want to have big lines in this thing, because it is paper clay after all. It is going to get a little more brittle as it dries. I didn't want the whole thing to just crack off. And if you hear something snoring, that would be Pebbles that is snoring in my lap right now. And then I decide this is one of those little tools, I think it's made by Sculpey, because of course I've also done polymer clay. Surprise, surprise. I think, you know, a lot of us, we just like to try stuff. That's just how we are. And so I had this little doodad that has like a little ball on the end. Again, use what you have, but I'm just making some very loose, sketchy circles, because after all, this is a TF piece, okay? It may not be on paper, it may not be on canvas, but this is a 3D rendition of my work. And we all know that I am not into all that perfection stuff, so I did want to allow myself the freedom to be me in my design. And so that's why all of the circles are not perfect. And I did go back, because my thought here with this top part was, if I took that off of the edge, it would be easier to like release it from the plastic. But y'all, it didn't work. We already established that. I ain't even gonna talk about it no more. My feelings is a little bit hurt. And another thing about me is if it doesn't work, I will go back and try it again until I get it right. But then once I perfect it, I pretty much move on with life. So now I decided that I wanted to make some little feet. I love those little planners that have the feet. And on Instagram, there is, no, I did find her on Instagram, but I actually originally found this artist on Pinterest, and it is Earth Darlings, I think is her name. Or her handle, or whatever you call it. And so she makes the most beautiful handmade ceramic pieces, and I just was bedazzled. I just was like, this is so, they are so funky, they are so organic, but yet beautiful colors, and just very, very, very cool. So I was like, this is what I'm going to do too. So I took that inspiration, and I am making these little bitty feet. And now I'm also going to tell you this, if you're doing this at home along with me, make sure that your little feet, people, that you're putting down here is the same size. You know, like that would make perfect sense. However, most of the time in my life, I do stuff and it doesn't always make sense, okay? I know that about myself because my feet were not exactly, perfectly even, and that's okay too. We don't mind a little wonky. I'm a little wonky. Life's a little wonky, so I'm cool with that. And I actually think it adds a little character too. And so you saw that I was really about to break out and jig because I was super excited about that foot. Now, what you will also notice is you will see I'm going in and I'm making some marks in that clay that is sitting down there. Okay, and this has a real specific name. I could not remember this, but I could remember when my mom would attach something in ceramics when it was in clay, and you would want to like make a little mark, like a little hash mark, like a little tic-tac-toe or something like that, and then you would then make a little hash mark onto the thing, and it attaches better because, I mean, it's no rocket science to realize that something that has texture would adhere to something that has texture opposed to putting smooth versus smooth. You know what I mean? So hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, y'all holla at your girl down there in the comments. I will do my best to answer, although by no means, okay, let me go ahead and say this, no means am I a professional clay person, okay? Let's go ahead and establish that, which y'all should already know. I'm not a professional much of nothing. So, I am taking a little bit of paper clay rolled out, and then I'm trying to show y'all. I'm going to go and do the other ones, but I'm making it kind of come together, you know, like kind of, incorporated is the word I'm looking for. Incorporating those legs onto the actual pot. Okay, so this was not going to be valid in this because my actual pot did not turn loose from the plastic. I'm saying that once again. We've established it, Tiffany, but it's valid once again. So I had a little idea. So I wanted to put some holes all around my pot, but then guess what? It's stuck in plastic, so it's not going to work. So that's neither here nor there. Don't put the little holes in there unless you just like how the holes look, because they serve absolutely zero purpose. So yeah, there's that. You live and you learn. See, that's why YouTubers are awesome, because they show you the way after we figure out what's not going to work. So now it is the next day. It is sat all night in my studio drying and doing its thing. And now I'm wanting to make a glaze. Okay. So, number one, this is paper clay. So, as it reconstitutes or get wet, so I'm pretty sure it would get gummy all over again if it sat in it, right? So, I did have some acrylic glazing medium, and I did have my beautiful and lush Payne's Gray by Lucas that I love so good, and I also have my Huggies Baby Wipe, okay? Now, this was a little scary, but I was like, you know what, Tiff? Come on, girl, you got this. We're going to make it work. So, the purpose of a glaze glaze is to get, excuse me, not a glaze, a stain is to get into the crevices. That's what I wanted, is I wanted a little bit of an aging, and I also wanted all those little doodad marks that I made to really show and shine that texture, okay? So, using that glazing medium, what it is doing is it is actually giving us a little more time and a little wiggle room from it just absorbing directly into that paper clay, okay? Because that paper clay is pretty porous, so it's going to want to do what? It's going to want to suck all that paint up. But before it does that, I am wiping it back, and that glazing medium is allowing it to lift and not be absorbed so quickly. However, it is also leaving in the ridges and in the crevices, it is leaving that dark paint. So I'm just making sure I'm using that Dina Wakley's paintbrush, because y'all know if you've ever used it, it's like very stiff, and that's what you need to get in there good. Now I'm gonna tell y'all what, this was working my arm muscles, and I said, girl, Tiff, you got to get yourself in the gym come 2021, baby. Or maybe not the gym, but in my actual house. I needed to lift some weights or something, because y'all, it should not have been working my arm like it was. But it reminded me that Tiff needs to work on some weights or some resistance or something, y'all, because that thing was tearing my little arm up. So anyway, as we clean this back, right, leaving this beautiful hue of Payne's Gray, I felt very wasteful because I felt like I was using so many Huggies Babies wipes, but guess what, y'all, them Huggies Babies wipes is not expensive, Tiff, so just let yourself go a little bit. Alright, so I'm still coming in here and I'm working it. I'm getting it just like I want it, which is just a little bit of that tint and a lot of it in the recesses, in the deep crevices that I wanted to shine. Let that texture shine, baby. And I'm feeling good about it. Okay, so I was a little defeated this morning when I walked in there and realized this thing was stuck. That's for the 5th time, just in case you missed it. For the people in the back, it ain't coming out of this plastic. But you know what? I said, oh no, you don't. Today, I'm going to figure out a way. And so that's what we're doing. So I'm going in here with just some cheap craft paint and a little bit of that Lucas White. Whatever color floats your boat is perfect. I just wanted some happy colors for my happy pot of flowers that I'm going to put in here. Okay. Now the other thing is we're about to go in here with a dry brush. So a dry brush means that you put the paint on, but then you take it away. Like you just put a little bitty bit. Okay. Now in some spots, I will tell you I got a little heavy-handed. Okay, so I also put that in the memory bank, like, Tiff, you got to go lighter with the dry brush, okay? But I am really loving this melon color mixed with the white. I thought that it was a really fun and happy color, and I knew that once you put a little pot of flowers in here, it is going to be popping. Yes, I'm excited about it. Can you tell it in my voice? I'm so excited. But the good thing about a dry brush is because this is paper clay, we don't want that stuff like getting wet all over again, okay? So because it's a dry brush, it's very, very light in moisture, okay? And then I realized, I don't know why I keep saying okay either. Like y'all gonna respond back. Goodness, Tiffany, you are just all over the place today. Y'all, please forgive me, love me. Give me some grace. Give me some grace. So I put a little bit of that Payne's Gray back in there, and then I'm wiping it back. And then, y'all know I love me some yellow. And this time, I decided to use my finger, which was oh so luscious to rub on that paper clay. Let me tell you what, I really like how it feels. And so, I'm just going to color those little messy dots with that, oopsie daisy. I just messed it up, but that's okay because I got Huggies Baby Swipe. But then what I also realized was, oh, I love it when it's just that melon color with no white, y'all. Ooh-wee. So I'm going to go back there and just add me a little bit of that melon while it's still wet because it just made me happy. And when it went on there with that just full melon color, I was like, hello, friend, this is where it's at. So I'm just going to go with the flow and add me a little bit of that melon back in there. See, that's how the universe, it works itself out because I don't know if I would have went in with the melon. And I like the melon much better than I like that light pink color. So there you go. There's that. So now, after my little yellow was all done, I was like, okay, let's go back with some black and let's just add a little zippity doodah to those circles and make them stand out. And I am going to do every other one, not just every one, because of the fact that I made messy circles. That means that we have some room to add a little decorations. So that's what I'm going to do with that little fine liner there. So listen, guys, if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for being there. And honey, where you been? We glad to have you. Grab you some sweet tea, have a look around. I've got lots and lots of videos. I am going to say it again, guys. I am on a mission to hit 20,000 subscribers by my birthday, which is going to be May the 21st. Go ahead, put that in that calendar just in case you don't forget. So if you have been hanging out with me or this is your first time and you say, hey, this chick's pretty cool, well, honey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'll take a break and let you go ahead and do that, like right quick, like now. Are you? Yeah. Right now, go ahead and hit it. Turn that bell notification. That way you can see when I put out a new video. I put a new video out almost every single Monday unless I'm taking a break. So, and then I have a new series for 2021 called What's Up Wednesday, where we just chat and have a good time. So, now that we've got that out of the way, I went in with some teal because for all of you people who have been hanging with me since way back in the day, y'all already know that teal, pink, and yellow is where teal, my heart just skips a beat. So what I am going to do is I felt like I wasn't getting the pop that I really wanted on those circles with that black. So I'm going in here with the fine liner using just some white paint, and I'm going in and just making me some little dashes to go around part of that circle, okay? So just a little something to make it go like, hey. So now we are at a point where I've got to figure out what in the world I'm going to do about that top. So I mentioned to you earlier that I have been doing some macrame, and I had this neutral, I guess off-white cord, and I'm going to make 5 wraps around the top here, okay? What I'm doing is just getting my measurements. Y'all know I don't measure. That's a joke. I'm figuring out how much yarn or thread or what do you call that stuff anyway? Cord. That's what you call it. I'm figuring that out. Okay, so what I did get a snafu. Number one, I don't fool with the hot glue gun because I get it everywhere. I burn my fingertips off, and it's just a disaster. Well, I did find this itty bitty one that was in my little cubby. Alright guys, so I had to go find my other high temp gun, which I don't like using because I'm not very careful and I end up singeing off my tips of my fingers. But as you see, there's some opportunity here to close the gaps, whatever, but it is going to serve the purpose that I want. What I also figured out, because remember this was a trial run, is this little bitty pot fits in here. However, it has this rim on it. So I have the option though to go in with some of this same twine that I used and put it if it really bothers me. But I'm gonna have this sitting on a shelf. So I think it'll be fine. But you know, if going forward I'm gonna go get some cling wrap so that I can actually release this from the said mold down here so that I don't have to have that in there. But if I wanted to use this as a real pot and not a cover pot, I would just need to have Josh or myself go in and drill some holes all the way through the plastic, all the way through this paper clay. I feel relatively certain that should be a very easy task to be able to do. But where there is a will, there is a way. And that's where this macrame cord came in, was to be able to kind of decorate that in a sense of hiding that plastic piece. But a lot was learned in this. I had a really good time making it. I hope you guys are inspired to try. I do want to get that other clay because this clay was not the easiest to work with. However, it's a different type of project for me. It really allowed me to explore and have a little fun. I do recommend, if you're going to use anything or you want to have a sheen on this, you can spray this with a acrylic spray. Go outside to do that. To be able to kind of seal this. But again, this is not going to be the actual pot that my plant is in. It is going to be a cover pot that will fit into this like that. And it gives me enough room. If you have one of these self-wicking, self-watering plants, you can put the water in there, because this is going to soak the water up, which is going to take the water into the bottom of the plant. So I enjoyed it. I think this is going to be a super cute addition in our bedroom and add a fun little pop of color. So thank you for taking the journey with me. I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Toodaloo!